Welcome back to another Canon Quick Shot, a quick review of a non-comic book or superhero movie. I'm your host, Terry, and today I'm looking at Lady Bird. It is an Oscar spotlight. So Lady Bird is the directorial debut of actress Greta Gerwig. She's actually wrote and directed this movie. So the movie is basically about a teenage girl who's a senior in high school in Sacramento, California, and kind of living out her last year of high school as she tries to make a break from the state of California and go to the East Coast. She's dealing with boy issues, she's dealing with a best friend, and mostly she's dealing with an ever-ending battle with her mom. So overall, it's a pretty good movie. I do have some problems with it. I think that if you look out right now, you'll see the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. You'll see the very high critic ratings from critics. And I personally didn't think it was that great. I thought, it was just good. I had a lot of issues with it. Typically when you have a coming of age story, I like when you stick to high school because, if we focus on our last moments in high school and kind of all the dynamics that are in high school, which are a lot, it can be very interesting. It can be nostalgic, all those things. The moment they start making this about college is when it lost me. Me personally, I work with high schoolers on getting to college. I kind of had the job her advisor had in the movie. And so a lot of things aren't factual and it's just a little ridiculous, but it also does remind me of teenagers that are just so unrealistic in what they want and just completely ignore what people tell them. And it's really annoying. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. And so maybe that's a personal thing for me, but I found myself really annoyed with the main character, Lady Bird, the whole movie. She was just so pretentious and stuck up and conceited and narcissistic and all those things. And that's definitely a real person, but there was no arc to it. There was no her coming around. There was no her dealing with those issues. It just kind of happened. And then also the movie is 1 hour and 33 minutes with credits. So it just flies by. And I don't mean fly by man, that went by fast because it felt long. I meant fly by as in it never fully realizes any of the concepts or questions it brings up. And it brings up a lot of interesting points, but the scenes never sit or settle long enough to even, pay off those things. It kind of just rushes past to the next thing. And so in that way, the movie feels hurried or at least a bit all over the place where they're trying to hit so many different things that it never takes time to chill and really focus on what's happening. Now, you can look at it in an artistic lens and say, oh, well, that's life. Life just moves, or that's the life of a teenager. They don't stop and sit. They just kind of go to the next thing. Okay, fine. But for me as a movie going experience, I found myself really wanting to know more, really wanting to dive more and just never getting that chance. There's some things that are set up that never get paid off in the movie. And it was what was the whole point of bringing that up if we never are going to revisit it? And so the pace and, the timing of the movie is one of those rare movies I do think, should have been longer to really, develop because it felt like the movie had no real purpose. It was just all over the place. And some people say, well, that was the intention of the movie, but if we knock a lot of movies for that, I think we got to knock this movie for that. The performances though were great. I thought the performances from everybody was really good. It's believable. I love the dialogue. The dialogue was natural. The thing about indie movies is they don't hold back. They got small budgets, so they're not scared to do things because they're not trying to make $1 billion. So the dialogue is raunchy at times, is, a little out there at times, but that's real life, especially with teenagers. And it felt natural. None of the jokes felt forced. The movie is very funny. And again, it was just natural comedy from the situations and from the way the characters talked with each other. And so, yeah, there's a lot of positive in it. It just, it didn't complete it for me. The whole thing was just kind of all over the place. It was a mix of stuff. And I felt like we never really nailed down what we're trying to say in this movie. And not to mention, I don't go, like, not everybody has to be a hero, but you gotta be a little deeper if you're going to make somebody an annoying character. And Lady Bird was an annoying character, at least for me. Like, yes, she's trying to grow up, but she's so conceited and she's so worried about herself and annoying. Like, those aren't the type of teenagers I want to root for. And so when they never really got to the root of her issues and they never really show her coming to face with them, it just made the whole movie annoying to me having to watch her. And like her best friend, the actress, I don't remember her name, but she played in Neighbors 2. She was part of the sorority. She was kind of like a side throwaway character in Neighbors 2, but in this movie, she shined. She was absolutely amazing. I think she was the best part of the movie that kind of anchored it down for me. As far as the Oscar buzz, so I'm rating this at about a 78 out of 100. I know it's got crazy good ratings everywhere else. It just did not hit with me on that level. So I don't see it getting an Oscar nomination. Honestly, I think because this was a debut, it's getting so much more love, especially from a fellow Hollywood actress. So she's getting a lot of praise, I think, just because of what she does and this being her first movie. But I don't see it getting the best picture. The only thing I could say is either the actress who played the mom or the actress that played her best friend possibly getting a supporting actress nomination. I could be down for either of them. Other than that, I don't see too many, accolades for this movie. But hey, that's me. I'm obviously on the minority right now. But anyway, are you thinking about going to see Lady Bird? Have you seen it? What do you think about it, or what are you excited to see? Go to the comment section. Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.